All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new episode of The Reality Kenya. It's an amazing moment, a new week and a new moment. Of course, we are live as usual from the Landed Corner with our guest, the Deputy Party Leader of Sofina Party, Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno Pitty Ponki.
Pakamelo Disco.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm okay.
You're looking fresh, man.
Thank you very much.
Since you came from the west side of the world.
The east side, the east coast.
Side.
So the east coast.
Yes.
Let's call the east coast.
Yeah. You're looking good.
I'm looking good. Thank you very much.
Karibu sana.
Yes, a new week for Kenyans. And I'm noticing some people are saying that the economy has stabilized and the price of goods have gone down.
Have gone down.
Yeah, petrol and I thought I had Ruto saying that they're going to reduce the price of petrol by 10 shillings.
Yes.
They reduced it by 5 shillings,
5 shillings,
not 10.
half of what he said.
Half of what he says. But look at the global prices. Of course, they are now stopped their manipulation of the petrol prices. They are reducing that G2G exposure that we were having, where people are manipulating the cost of the fuel on freight. Freight costs. That is where we were. Freight and landing costs.
That's where they were.
That's where they were playing around with us, and on the dollar question of the dollar also.
Yeah.
But you know, the quality of an economy is determined based on the quality of life that Kenyans are living.
Yeah.
You saying that we are less poorer today than we were yesterday, or we are poorer today than we were yesterday? And Kenya Kwanza's metrics is very simple.
Yeah.
The pain you feel today is less than the pain you will feel tomorrow. It is more than the pain you felt yesterday. So that is Kenya Kwanza.
Yeah.
There is no economic intervention that they've taken that in a way you can say has even helped ease the burden of the economy on the people of Kenya.
Yeah.
Every time when they attempt to do anything, like now look at what they did with the fertilizer.
Yeah.
They ended up messing up the fertilizer.
Sand.
They give people sand and donkey shit.
Yeah.
They mix with fertilizer and they give you to, they sell it to you as fertilizer. You know, and I'd say this thing.
Yes.
If you have a comprehensive fertilizer, food security program, fertilizer just becomes a component of it.
Yeah.
But you look at the entire value chain of food security.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to address? If the question is food security,
Yes.
then you look at that entire value chain of food, from land preparation. First identifying the land.
Yes.
Identify the farmers. Then you go to land farmer training. You first train people. Then once you train them, you go to land preparation. Then you identify the crops, crop identification. Which crop can do well on this soil?
Yeah.
You do soil testing, you know, to ascertain the acidity levels and the pH levels of that soil. Then which crop can do well in that kind of a soil?
Yeah.
Then you move to, once you train your farmers, you now move to identifying the seeds that you are going to give these farmers and how they are going to plant those seeds and how to tend for the crop.
Yeah.
Then post-planting, you look at crop management. Once the crop is out, you identify how to manage that crop. In between, you'll have done what is called using the right fertilizer for the right soil that you are planting in. Then post-harvest procedures.
Yeah.
How do you harvest and how do you store the produce in a way that it doesn't go to waste? None of that was done by Kenya Kwanza. Then they just told Kenyan farmers, fertilizer.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to eat the fertilizer, whether you have the right soil, there is no testing of the pH levels of the soil, but you're given fertilizer as a solution to your problem.
Whether they're going to resell
Whether you're going to resell them, no one cares.
Yeah.
All they say is that if you give any fertilizer, you will have a bumper harvest.
Yeah.
And that is why you see, because the approach was about food security. So it is easy for unscrupulous business people to easily now decide, because this thing is just a money-making scheme, to decide to go to Kariandusi and add limestone on the fertilizer and then go and sell it. They get now the bulk and they make millions of shillings out of it. And ultimately, it's the Kenyan people who suffer the most when these things are done. And it is quite unfortunate. So also on the economic front, you are not seeing any intervention that you can say, what is the government doing in a way that rejigs this economy? What have they done? Because now we are reduced, unfortunately, in Kenya. We are discussing subsistence.
What do you
You know, we are discussing subsistence, how to eat. We live to eat. That's what we are reduced to. That is why in Kenya the conversation is about the price of unga,
Yeah.
the price of fuel, the price of cooking oil,
Yes.
the price of... No, it's should be about the quality of life. What new things, what new innovations, what new inventions are we coming up with? How do we take this thing to the next level?
Yeah.
But when it is reduced to the conversation today is what was the price of
Unga last week.
unga last week, the price of unga this week. I mean, you become so basic that you can't even look at the big picture.
Yeah.
You're just thinking about your stomach, because anybody talking about food,
Yeah.
it means the problem is just in the hunger pangs. It's your stomach
Yeah.
that you're focused on. You know, there are some countries where people don't even... Eating is actually a luxury. Because it is taken for granted that you'll eat.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Regardless of the situation.
regardless of the situation. I mean, who talks about food? Eh? That is how our country should be. I mean, it's the basic needs. We should have gone away from the basic needs.
Yes.
We should now be talking about the secondary needs of a human being.
Yeah.
Beyond just putting food on the belly. But Kenya Kwanza every day,
Yeah.
even you look at their public posturing, it's all about the belly.
Basic.
How can you eat? We've reduced the price of sugar, price of unga, price of cooking oil, price of fuel, price of... Why are we caught up in this basic discussion?
Yeah.
The discussion should never be about those basic things. At the governmental level, the discussion should be about what are the strategic interventions that the government is doing that is going to change this economy.
Yeah.
How do we move, grow our middle class?
Yeah.
For example, if it is there are 300,000,
Yeah.
how do we move it from 300,000 to 2 million people in the middle class?
Yes.
How do we reduce the poverty gap rate in our country
Yeah.
from the abhorrible numbers, almost 70% living below the poverty line, to people earning a decent living and wage? So the interventions must be big. You're not going to change and grow the middle class in this country if the conversation and focus is on putting food on the belly. Because they will not grow.
Yeah.
That is why you start doing mundane things about fertilizer. Government is now the driver of fertilizer. Is the driver of the price of cooking oil, of maize, of cooking flour. You lose it. You don't now focus on great things that can be done. Countries that want to change, you see their economic trajectories are on big issues. Inventions, manufacturing, for example. Or they're now moving towards technology. How do we harness technology to enhance our production as a country and to create opportunities for our people? But we are not there. Unfortunately, Kenyans will just have to suffer the pain of Kenya Kwanza for now. But at the right time, I believe they will snap and deal with it. It's also quite unfortunate that the doctor strike is still ongoing. And the Inspector General of Police was out of order in trying to intimate that the doctors have become a public nuisance.
Yes.
You know, sometimes some of these people, you wonder what is wrong with their heads.
They're disturbing people.
They're disturbing
who are
people
going to work.
who are going to work and patients who are in hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, some people have a problem with their heads because our constitution is very clear in Article 37. You have a right to picket and demonstrate. And the doctors are exercising their right to picket and to demonstrate. It is their right. You may not like it. In fact, a demonstration is not supposed to be liked by the person to whom the demonstration is organized against. Yeah, you're supposed to like it.
But that is the intention.
That's the intention. So I'm meant to irritate you because you've done something that is wrong and you're being called to order.
Yes.
That is why the demonstration is conducted.
Yeah.
So the Inspector General of Police, after taking a long hiatus, hiding whatever he's been hiding, comes out and the first public statement he makes is about arrogation of Article 37 rights. We must tell him that no, you don't have a right to determine when people and how they will demonstrate. Unfortunately, we don't like why they're demonstrating, but you will live with it. And Kome must live with the fact that Kenyan doctors have a right to demonstrate, and they will demonstrate. If he so desires, let him order his policemen to go and beat those doctors. Because there will be consequences, and everybody will live with its consequences. And he should be ready to live with its consequences if he dares attack those peaceful demonstrators. He should not, before he got away with attacking as the mere demonstrators. So it should not be to him that that is now the template of every demonstration. No, we must call him out. The doctors have a right to demonstrate, and the doctors have a right to express themselves. And the government has a duty to honor its obligations once it has signed any agreement. The government signed an agreement with the doctors, a CBA. That CBA specifies obligations of each party.
Yeah.
The doctors have been meeting their obligations. Government must also meet its obligations.
Yeah.
If it desires to walk away from its obligations, it must call doctors to a round table, have a discussion.
Yes.
If they agree, they sign a fresh one to review.
Yeah.
But you cannot unilaterally decide that we will pay you this much. What is magical about 70,000? Why not 40,000? Why not 25,000?
Yeah.
Why 70? What informed the discussion that you're going to pay the medical registrars 2 or 6,000?
Yeah.
Because there was a science behind it.
Yes.
The nature of work that they're doing. There are many considerations. That is why it was 2 or 6 and not 500.
Yeah.
So you must respect that discussion. And it is quite unfortunate that we are now reducing our public health care system into, it's actually collapsing right before our eyes.
Yeah, sure.
Because of government that is insensitive to the plight of the people of Kenya. Because it is poor Kenyans who are suffering when this strike continues. And the amount of money that the doctors are asking for, it is pitiable in the bigger scheme of things. It's only 4 billion shillings.
Yeah.
And they're not asking for a salary increment. It is important that Kenyans understand this.
Yeah.
The doctors are not on strike demanding for an increase in their salary. They already have a CBA with the government. They are only asking that, please implement the CBA, honor your obligations under the CBA. That is all.
Yeah.
Don't add even a coin here. Don't reduce.
Yes.
Just implement the CBA as it is. If you cannot implement a CBA, what you've signed and has been registered in court, then what are you? Where do you derive your authority from? Because it means your word can never be trusted.
Yeah.
If you give me your word today, and then tomorrow you turn against it, your very word, when will I ever trust you then? Government is based on trust. And the ability of the government to honor its word to its people and to its partners that it engages with. In this case, government doesn't want to honor its words and wants to continue enjoying the same trust. It's not possible. So we must call Kenya Kwanza for bullshit that they are. This is bullshit. Respect the doctors, respect your word, and respect yourself. Honor your CBA with the doctors. Let us not enter a conversation of how much is it a lot and medical doctors should earn this. No, we are not in that stage. We are in the stage of honoring the CBA.
But maybe they were claiming that it was the previous government who pushed for this, and they have their own plans of doing things in terms of budgeting. And
there's something that is called state succession. Governments exist in perpetuity. No government, the acts of the previous administration are binding on the next administration. Remember, it's the government that signed, not an administration. So if they want to start cherry picking the acts of the previous administration that they want to commit to, you must note this. Then even those cars, those offices they're occupying, they should leave them because they belong to the previous administration. The structures of government that they're running with were there with the previous administration. So they cannot say that we will not honor the word of the previous administration. We want to have our own, but yet you're enjoying the entire infrastructure that previous administration was using. Governments exist in perpetuity, and there's what is called state succession. The acts of a previous administration binds the other. And that is why you also transfer the benefits of that previous administration to this new one. So they inherited everything from, you can't cherry pick that I'm inheriting the good and leaving the bad. I'm inheriting the assets and leaving the liabilities. Even all commitments you must inherit. There's no difference between these two governments. Government exists in perpetuity. And maybe these people need a class in state succession so that they understand. Maybe there's a genuine conversation in their head. They think that they have a valid point that was the act, or that was a CBA of Uhuru Kenyatta, not ours. That was a CBA of the Republic of Kenya, signed by the government of the Republic of Kenya with the doctors. And they should honor it.
Because every time there is a crisis, they always put the blame on the previous government, administration, but every time things are okay, they don't
mention the previous.
What do you think? Is it a blame game that is the Kenya Kwanza government?
You see, Kenya Kwanza have always refused to take responsibility. I don't know, maybe psychologists should analyze for us the mindset of Kenya Kwanza leaders, because they seem to have a problem in their head, and how they analyze things, how they perceive things is different from how Kenyans perceive things.
Yes.
There's a time when the leader had said that he has no control over the price of fuel.
Yes.
That the price of fuel is determined by international factors that are beyond his control. So he cannot decide when the price goes up or goes down. But then, when the price went down yesterday, they were there claiming that Kenya Kwanza's interventions have reduced the price of fuel.
Yes.
So can you choose your mantra?
Yeah.
You either influences the price or you don't. And if it goes up, own up that you failed. If it goes down, say that I have intervened.
Yes.
But you can't say if it goes up, it's not me, it's other players, factors. If it comes down, it is me. Choose your battle, choose your mantra, and stick to it.
Yes.
But that is Kenya Kwanza for you. I mean, I sympathize, as I said, I always sympathize with people who expect anything positive out of Kenya Kwanza. You will lose your mind if you think that anything good can come out of this administration.
Yeah. But if you also looked at the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Murkomen yesterday was on national TV and was claiming that they have really done a lot since they came to the office. This is their second year. And his docket, personally, he was saying his docket has really improved the infrastructural development and is aiming at giving the Kenyans the best that they have not experienced in the last 60 years. From your own analysis, do you think that is a statement to go by, or is just a PR?
If what they have served us for the last 1 year is the best, then I don't want that their best. Let me live with the worst that we knew. Because the experience of Kenya Kwanza has been pain. And even if you look at the transport ministry, the last 3 months, the kind of accidents we've had in this country, it is actually unimaginable. Our national consciousness does not even get shocked anymore when you hear that 10 people have died in an accident. Previously, 5 people would die in an accident and it will be a news and national shock and horror. But now, 10, 20 die and life goes on like as if nothing has happened. But what are their interventions? Look at even that transport ministry. Which major road project have they launched since they came into office? There's none. I'm talking of a major road project that the ministry has conceptualized and launched, sourced for funding for, and the project taken off. There's not a single one.
None actually.
There's none. So when they say that, and which major maintenance project have they done? Look at the road from Nairobi to Nakuru, all the way to Kisumu, even Eldoret. It's a very narrow road. You are blaming motor vehicles for the accidents. But the truth of the matter is this. You drive along that road. That road is very narrow. The users of that road, the numbers have increased exponentially. It cannot accommodate the traffic. In fact, driving on that road is a nightmare to all Kenyans. Nairobi Nakuru is a nightmare to drive on the road. That road was designed and built in the 1990s. The current structure
that we are using right now.
It was in how many vehicles do we have in Kenya in 1990? How many Kenyans do we have today? How many vehicles do we have in Kenya today? Why are we not expanding? That road has no even what you can call road shoulders, where even if you're in an emergency, you can stop on the side. That road is very narrow. It's one way. But it is taking heavy traffic. Trucks and SUVs are driving on the same lane and the same pace. How? He should be telling us that he's designed a master plan to create a super highway, 8-lane road from Nairobi to Nakuru that takes care of all the vehicular transports. Motorbikes don't even have a special lane. But they ride on that road, competing with trucks and SUVs and public service vehicles. So what do you expect when you put that matrix? Of course, accidents are going to happen. And it is time in this country we move away the conversation from blaming drivers and the state of vehicles as the sole cause of accidents. It is not. The bulk of our accidents in this country today are caused by the design of our roads. That is the truth of the matter. And you will keep hitting the drivers on the head, but before you deal with the state of the roads, the infrastructure that these drivers are operating under, these accidents will continue.
Yes.
And especially on those heavy traffic roads, you can't have a highway. I mean, what should be a highway? Reduced, it's our single lane. With no safety measures, no precautions, no proper marking. The bumps, the speed humps are more like barriers, boulders on the road than meant to regulate speed. You are not familiar with the road, you hit a bump and you just overlap, overturn. So those are the things that we should be asking. So the ministry should play a major role. They must be very focused on the intervention. They should tell us what they are doing. It is now true, this is the second year of Kwanza. And they've not launched even a single road, not even a major highway maintenance program that you can say they are going to do. And yet, accidents for the last 3 months, we've had accidents, we've lost over 500 Kenyans.
It's almost a daily news.
So it's quite unfortunate. And they're just trying to sweep it under the carpet. That should not be the case.
Wow, as we wind up, Naibu, right now, most Kenyans are actually, if you look at the streets and the polls that are taking place, most Kenyans actually have lost faith in the current government, in the current administration. And you and your party leader have been fighting for the hope and the future that maybe one day, one time, in the near future, Kenyans are going to regain the pride of being a Kenyan and the hope of a better living. If you look at this particular goal, have you put in measures that are going to make sure that once this happens, Kenyans are going to get...
We are very ready. It's a FINA party, we are very ready. And we have serious plans to transform this economy. And as I always said, those who listen to me, they will note that the difference between us and Kenya Kwanza is day and light. As we are supply-side economists, they are demand-side economics. When you fully understand the supply-side economics and how it will panel out, it will change this country. Supply-side economics is about reduced taxes, it's about less government, reduce government from people's faces, and empower the private sector. Let the individual, let the private sector be the driver of economic growth. Government cannot be the driver of economic growth. Them, they believe it is the government that should be the driver of economic growth of this country. It will not. It has never been. Let the private sector drive economic growth. Government just becomes a facilitator. And in the fullness of time, people will fully come to appreciate what we are talking about. Less government, reduce taxation, and private sector driven growth. That is every individual, because private sector is every person in this country, not public.
Wow. Thank you so much, Naibu. Of course, each and every person who has been watching, we say a big thank you. Keep following, keep sharing. Wakili is on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on TikTok. Keep sharing, follow. Let's grow together, because this is the best you can always get each and every week on The Reality Kenya. My name is Simi Kenya. Bye-bye and blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Asante.